I want you to do me a favor.
Yeah, sure.
I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
You're entering a world of pain. Whole world gone crazy!
Hey, want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Let's get to it.
Because I got nothing to do. The bad. The evil.
Is Nothing to Do Radio.
The bad.
I am Bryan, and I'm here with the lovely, the beautiful, the talented, the very blonde and Janis Morton. All right, we got a lot to discuss today. I actually want to bring up what just popped up. Dwight Howard is leaving the Lakers. And as I say with all of our big centers that leave, good riddance. But the only thing that's different with Dwight Howard and what was different with Shaq was going off, a few championships with us. Dwight has a horrible year last year, and we were practically begging him like he was LeBron leaving Cleveland to stay in L.A. We're the Lakers, for Christ's sake. We're the Cadillac of NBA teams, and we're begging a guy who gave us nothing but a sweep in the playoffs last year. It's ridiculous, but he's going to the Rockets. It's confirmed by his agent, Dan Fagan, and he's going to be getting paid a lot. 4-year, $88 million deal is what the Rockets are looking to pay Dwight Howard. So that's a fun little thing to come into. I don't know what the Lakers are going to. I don't know how they're going to fill that big shoulder void. You like your shoulders.
I'm going to miss those big shoulders.
Mia, how about you? Me in the booth, ladies and gentlemen. You going to miss those shoulders? Mia, you're already not there? Nothing to do. You're going to miss Dwight Howard's big shoulders. He's leaving L.A. Yeah, he's out. Those free throw line shoulders, those ones that all the other girls stop while they're walking by the TV, and they stop for a second and ask, who's that?
Oh my good! Did you say he's what? He's leaving.
He's leaving. He's going to Houston. He's going to the Rockets. We're going to lose our big guy, but I'm not too sad about it because I don't like how the Lakers were almost begging for him to stay after such a lackluster season. So
did he do good when he was playing on the Lakers?
Not too good. No, I mean look at where we ended up. We lost. At least we lost to the Spurs, who were in the finals. But yeah, he didn't do what we expected him to do. Let's just say that. But this is Nothing to Do Radio, folks. I am Bryan. What we're going to be discussing today is actually a few fun topics. I want to know, you people out there, you have the right to be offended. I think we all can agree with that, right? Someone says something you don't like, or someone even, I don't know, wears something you don't like, something maybe you would deem inappropriate. I don't think a man has ever said a woman was wearing something inappropriate. Oh, except that the woman is a little heavy for the wear. Then it's a little.
Well, that's inappropriate. So
you have the right to be offended by that, but do you have the right to try to topple that person, to try to take him down, to try to even take his job and destroy his reputation because you were offended by something that person said? So Alec Baldwin actually is the newest one up on the stand. Of course, we had Tracy Morgan and even Daniel Tosh when he said some rape jokes, and there was a woman who was offended, and he had to be put up to apologize. Now we have Alec Baldwin. He said some what they're calling homophobic slurs towards of course, paparazzi or British reporter. He was angry with him, and he said a few things, and now he's apologizing. So we're going to be getting to that, and I want to know, do you have the right to be offended? And if you do you have the right to take that offense either to the Internet, to Twitter, so many ways to complain now. Do you have the right to destroy that person either financially or, just reputation-wise? So 888-909-1050 is the show. This is Nothing to Do Radio, folks. Me and Janis, or Janis and I have to talk proper, and I will only say words that I know the I already messed up. The pronunciation and the correct definition of, because she calls me on it when I come home normally from the studio. But we just got back from Vegas, fun trip. Woohoo! Mia, when was the last time you were over in a lovely Las Vegas?
It's been a while. I was there when it was more family-friendly. Now I heard it's more like they put the, sinfulness back into the Vegas thing. So it's been a little while.
It did seem a little Disney World-ish, like
yes.
Disney got their hand in it for a little bit.
It's back to Sin City.
Yes. And we decided to go out the week of July 4th.
Oh.
It was 120 degrees for
melting
4 hours
weather.
Straight of driving.
Oh.
As soon as the buildings left, as soon as you left, civilization, and you hit the desert.
Oh no! Magnifying glass right over your car, huh?
Yes, that temperature gauge started going up. So, driving in 120 miles, you kind of think like, all right, these cars nowadays, we got a pretty new car, right?
Yeah.
Our Jeeper.
Good condition.
And but you really have to think. You're driving 4 hours straight, and Vegas, you don't do the speed limit to Vegas. I don't even think they have speed limit signs on the way to Vegas. The cops just gonna, if you go off the road or whatever, you're just gonna hit some dirt, and then you realize you gotta get back on the road and go straight again. So going 80 with 120 degree weather for 4 hours, it got to be rough on the car. I was a little nervous about it.
Yeah, I started thinking I was hearing noises in the car.
Yeah.
It was actually fine. I was just kind of freaking out.
You know why you were going 80? Because there's nothing to see but tumbleweeds and Joshua trees. And when you think you go over the hill, there's another one down the way.
Yeah, you're like, any minute now I'm going to see the Lesser Pyramid lights. Any minute over this next corner, and you never do. So especially when we got around the what's that street that we Zizix, the ZZYZX street.
How do you pronounce that? I saw that. How do you pronounce it?
Janice knows it.
I say Zizix.
I think
Zizix.
It's Zizix. Yeah, Zizix.
Lesson learned. Thank you.
Yeah. And I know they made like a D-list like a horror movie based off of it, and I know why. I think that as soon as we hit that point, I think it jumped to like 123. It's insanely hot. But the funny thing, actually, driving all the way out to Vegas, about every 50 miles, I saw like Indian preservation sites. Not necessarily reservations, but like preservations. Like this is where the Mojaves lived, 200, 300 years ago, and they lived here for 1,000 years. Every 50 miles, there was a new one. And every time I saw one, I would look at that temperature gauge, and even though there are some folks who claim global warming is true, it couldn't have been that much cooler.
Back in the day?
Yeah, 100 or 200 years ago when the Indians were living there. Why would you set up shop? I mean, I guess they didn't know the ocean was another, 200 to 300 miles.
That far.
But why would you just stop?
I don't know.
It's like Christmas shopping at the mall when you're looking for a spot and you see one and it's far away and you think maybe there's like a 20% chance there might be a closer one, but then you just say F it, I'll walk, and you just park. You're like, I'm going to walk 2 miles once I get inside the store, so I might as well walk. I think that's what the Indians did.
They saw the mirage.
Yeah.
And they thought they reached it, and then they said, okay, I'm not going to keep going.
Yeah, and then the next day they woke up like, oh, God,
you know what I think it was? I think they were safe. They knew no one else in their right mind would be out there in that heat trying to come after them. They were safe.
Right.
As little as they know, we were after them. We did. Manifest Destiny. The dumb whites did the exact same thing as them. They went and started traveling west and stopped right short before the ocean. That's always cracks me up about like the sequoias or even Big Bear. There was one person who just decided to start trekking up a mountain. Mm-hmm. And then as soon as they, I guess, discovered a lake, they said, yeah, let's just live here. But who starts walking up a mountain? The drive up Big Bear is a pain in the butt.
I know. I always wonder when I'm driving up how difficult it was to make the road up the mountain.
Yeah, it took a long time. Or even the power lines on the way to Vegas. We're going on the way out to Vegas. Just the power lines that you see for miles and miles and miles. And as we're going more into a wireless world, I love the fact that those things are going to be completely moot very soon here. But yeah, fun drive to Vegas. That was the drive. So what was the original reason that we went to Vegas, actually? Another thing about Vegas. Vegas is hot. All right, not just the drive to Vegas.
Oh yeah.
Vegas, with all of its money, Vegas. This is a little advice here from the Nothing to Do radio show. All right, this is a little advice. There's a new TV show on, or it's like a TV movie based off the Stephen King book, Under the Dome. Just this giant dome that basically keeps people in, but more importantly, keeps people out. Vegas, you need a dome like that, a little bit more friendly. It doesn't need to be as nefarious and terrifying, but you need to get a dome over Vegas. Nice, cool, 80 degrees, 78 to 80 degrees year-round. They got the money. They could spend they got some of the profit.
Or just make a tunnel that goes through from hotel to hotel to casino, and just have people walk that way. As it is, they already have like these bridges, but they're not, they're not cooled. So you just kind of walk outside over these bridges and you go to the next casino. But I think that they should have like these underground tunnels, that you should be able to go through that are air conditioned, that you can just walk from one to the next.
I think my dome idea is more feasible.
Oh, okay.
I think realistically putting a giant dome over. We stayed at the Mandalay Bay. What was the Mandalay Bay, like 70 stories or something? I think getting a dome over that's much more feasible than doing some simple tunnels.
Oh, all right then.
Okay, now when you put the dome over, are you talking about you can walk out on the strip and everything, and you have the dome and things like that, and you don't have to worry about the heat?
The dome, literally. Now think about this. It starts from like the Red Rock Casino, which I think is about 2 miles outside of Vegas. The dome starts there, goes all the way over to like Fremont Street. It's just this giant dome surrounding. It's kind of like the Simpsons movie. If you've seen the Simpsons movie, they put an entire dome over. Yes, I'm basing my plans off of cartoons and Stephen King novels. But it's that hot. It's that hot where you start hallucinating.
Brian, it's not that bad. You walk through, or you walk to the next casino, and you're back in air conditioning again.
I think they did that on purpose because me and Janis and I will start to be like, okay, let's go sightseeing today. Let's do some tourist stuff. We gambled last night. That was fun. Got our free drinks.
Brian lost all the money.
Shut up. By the way, which is a fantastic idea that you get free drinks while you're gambling. Whoever came up with that, that's PB&J status right there. That is amazing. And you only got a tip. And she's happy when you give her $1 when she gives you a drink.
Funny.
Okay, $12 for in a club.
Brian's losing all the money. He's tipping every time we get a drink. He's playing more games waiting for a drink. So he ends up paying a lot of money for those drinks. I don't understand this.
They like him.
10 drinks, $10. That's a pretty good deal.
Honey, but you lost 40 already.
That's, I think, their idea of giving you free drinks.
Yeah.
While you play. Okay, well, let's get to the drink cost. That was my philosophy, but no, that's what I was going to say with the air conditioning. They expect you to do the tourist stuff. That you're gonna try to do the tourist stuff, I should say. But they know it's so freaking hot that by the time you get to the second casino, you're just gonna sit down. Just to take a break, get a refreshment, and then you hear the sounds. You hear the beep beep beep, the slot machine sounds, and you figure why not just start gambling. Or you're
going to sit down and say, I want to get a free drink.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm going to pretend to play, but you actually play, and then you end up losing.
Yeah. So that's why people don't really tour, because we try to do. We try to like, let's go to this hotel, let's go see 4 or 5 hotels, and let's walk around. It's so freaking hot outside. You just want to stay inside that lovely smoke-filled air conditioning.
I'm starting to get to the point, and maybe this is my age, but I'm starting to get to the point where I like to gamble, but I don't like to do it the entire time. I would rather do that touristy stuff and go to the other casino, like I think it was Luxor had this Titanic exhibition. Like I wanted to go to different hotels and casinos to see that kind of stuff rather than just sit down and gamble.
No, but I don't want to be drunk and then walk through the Titanic. That's depressing.
I thought it was cool.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I hope I die like Jack. She hopes I float to the bottom. And she has. We're holding hands during the Titanic exhibit, and she has to pry my dead hands away from hers and watch me float down into the abyss. And you will let go. You'll let go, and I'll be waving up to you like, no, I'm not dead yet. And you'll be pushing my hand into the water.
I'm like, no, you are.
Very nice. Nothing to do radio, but let's get into those drinks. We got those free drinks at the table. I liked my idea. Yes, at the end of the night, those drinks did end up costing me $100 an hour.
Free.
But we went to a concert, and Nia, you're going to like this. What concert did we go to?
Woohoo! Beyonce.
Wow.
Mrs. Carter.
Mrs. Carter.
The Mrs. Carter show. And I'm a man who could take my lady to a chick show, as they say. But standing in line to get drinks, we got 2 drinks. How much were those 2 drinks to start off the bat? After we just left 2 drinks that we tipped $2 for, we bought 2 more inside the Beyonce concert. How much were those?
$36.
$36. That's 18? Yeah. $18 a pop. I got you on math. You got me on English. I got you on math. $18 a pop. Plus, by the way, they got their beautiful, cute little tip jar out there.
Yeah.
You want to tip them $1 each, so you're up to a cool $40.
Yeah, for 2 drinks.
Which barely got us through the opening act.
Oh yeah, it didn't even.
Just like Ray J's cousin, I didn't even know who he was.
I don't remember his name.
But yeah, okay, this is how it kind of I gotta admit, all right, this is how it started at the beginning with the Beyonce concert. Guys are we try to play it hip. It's kind of the same way we are at a club when we first get there. We're hands maybe on our pocket, just kind of checking out the scene, bobbing the head a little bit, And then maybe you have a couple drinks, or maybe the music starts getting to you, and you start getting charmed by Mrs. Carter. And your feet start moving a little bit. Maybe you're not sitting as much now. Maybe you're standing up a little bit more than maybe you were at the beginning. And I can tell you by the end of the concert, I had went out and bought a necklace, a glowing, or it was like a necklace that had like a glowing pen looking thing on
Nice.
Kind of looked like a vibrator, so I felt fun.
Oh dear.
I felt fun buying that with a 60% gay audience attending Beyonce. But yeah, it glowed different lights. So by the end of the Beyonce show, I was rocking that. And each song had kind of its own color scheme, like the lights, and then my little glowing vibrator had 7 different lights to pick from. So whatever light scheme Beyonce was using in her song, I would click my little glowing vibrator to match that light. So I was that cool.
And can I say, after every song that played, Bryan turned to me and said, "Thou shall pay bills."
Yes. No, Dasha should pay bills, isn't it? Dasha? Dasha pay bills.
Okay, you had too much to drink. That's what it was. You was having a good time in Vegas.
Yeah, and it was a great time in Vegas.
And I was singing, if you like it, then you should have put a ring on it.
Oh.
Beyonce kept saying, "Where my ring at?" And I would look at him and be like, "Where's my ring at?" We've been together 12 years, everybody, just so you know. And there's
For real? Did you say 12 years?
12
Yeah.
years. Going on.
Whoa.
A few more months until it gets weird.
You deserve a medal. Oh, my goodness. Is there such a thing?
platinum. preferably.
Yeah.
She deserves a medal. Cubic zirconia.
Something. I mean, that's impressive.
Maya, you're married, right, Mia?
Oh, yeah.
How long were you guys dating before you got married? Engaged, I should say.
We were dating like 3 years before we got married.
All right.
Yeah. We've been married 24 years now.
Oh, really? Congrats. I didn't know that. Wow.
Thank
All
you.
right, so it works. The 3 year. Well, we passed the 3 year thing. We can't get married now.
Oh, yeah. You know each other. You guys are good. I'm serious. You're good. You know?
Nothing to do radio, you guys. We're just wrapping up our Vegas segment. We had to talk about
Woohoo!
it. We stayed there for 5 or 6 days.
Bryan, you forgot to tell everybody how some guy came up behind you and grabbed your butt.
Yeah. I was getting into that. I was debating whether to talk about it or not.
It was a guy came up there and gave you the old Charmin squishy thing there.
Charmin's actually a pretty good analogy. Yeah, I was standing in line for, again, the second round of $20 beers. And yeah, I felt a squeeze on my butt. And it's weird, though, because a lot of things go through a guy's mind when that happens. Because people are probably thinking in their cars and stuff like, right now, the tough guys, like, oh, you should have just turned around and punched him. Here's the weird thing about being a guy. A, we rarely get our butt squeezed when we're out anywhere. So when it first happens, the first thing that kind of pops in your head is like, oh, there's a chance it might be a girl.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's the first thing. So right away, you're not thinking I'm going to punch this person. You're thinking I'm going to turn around and see if it's an attractive person who just squeeze my butt.
Well, how
You are such a guy, all right. Mm-hmm.
Mia saying the Charmin is about right. It was it wasn't a pinch. I would never say it was a 1 or 2 finger pinch. It was a full grab and a hello and a kind of a doctor testing a baseball player before he starts the season. But he didn't go that far. He didn't make it to the front. But yeah, gave it a nice squeeze. So yeah, the things popped in my head was the girl thing. So right away my defense, or I should say my offenses weren't up where I just wanted to attack because I thought it might be a chick, and it's you were still down on your seat, so
yeah,
I might.
Away from you.
Yeah, I might have had a few minutes if it was a pretty girl. But yes, it was a gentleman. And the first thing that I noticed was he was heavily intoxicated, thank God. I actually don't even know for sure if he was gay. Maybe he was just really drunk.
He just liked your tush and had to squeeze it.
Yes.
You just saw that cute little fishy.
And he gave it a nice squeeze. But yeah, with a guy too, what I realized too, like we have neighbors here. Me, I'm sure you've had plenty neighbors, good and bad, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
All right, we got some bad neighbors. We got some neighbors who party a little bit too long into the night and sometimes not on a weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing that a man that goes through a man's mind is I can always just get impulsive and yell out something or curse or even go out and start a fight because it's happened a few times. A man kind of goes, okay, if I start down this path, there's not probably going to be a good ending in sight. And the guy kind of has to factor things in. I have to live next to these people.
Yep.
My girl's going to have to deal with this. She's not always here with me. She's sometimes here by herself, so she's going to have to deal with these people now. And we don't know how long we're going to be here. We just signed another lease. So those kind of things factor in. What are going to be the consequences? Now, this could be with age. When I'm 20, if a guy squeezes my butt or if I have some annoying neighbors, I'm probably actually with the neighbors, I'm probably going to go party. Maybe even with the gay guy. It's going to party. But yeah, now at 30, I kind of start factoring in, if I punch this guy, if I do something violent, it's going to ruin the Beyonce concert for us. Bryan's going to end up in jail, and Janis is still going to finish the concert.
Of course.
God bless her. Those are expensive.
I'll come get you later.
Yes, but I would be thrown out and in jail, and now that I'm on the radio, I guarantee you there'd be something out there about me being a gay basher or something, even though I was assaulted first. So all that kind of goes to my mind, and I made the decision, and I told the gay gentleman, you get one. I just put up my finger, kind of like a this is your final chance thing, and I just said, you get one. And then his friend apologized profusely, and then he started harassing someone else next to me, and that was another thing that I thought, like, I'm glad he didn't do it again, but it was kind of like he went right next to the next person.
Yeah, it kind of hurt your feelings.
Right to the next guy. Just throwing me completely out. So, yeah, we tried some new gambling stuff. We tried roulette, which I always made fun of as being so lucky and easy, but
that was so fun. We met somebody down there that said, "Oh, I absolutely hate roulette. I never play it," but we had a really good time playing roulette, and we were really lucky the first night.
Yeah,
I was lucky.
We were lucky too. We were lucky the first two nights. Another thing with Vegas too now that they don't really do coins as much, they don't. You don't hear the ching 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 ching. People winning quarters. It's all credit based, and it's all on your little tickets that you print out. But in doing that, Vegas thought that it was just a convenience. Vegas did that to screw you over a little bit more. They did it to screw over the smaller stakes players, I think, because some of the slot machines that we were playing, they always have like cute, fun wizards. It's like we were watching Nick Jr.
Yeah.
But it was a slot machine.
Yeah.
And it would tell you would win. You'd bet $1 bet, and it would tell you would win, and then you'd get 50 cents.
Right.
And the only way I feel that they could actually do that is if they were doing it through the credit system. So it's kind of an ingenious way that Vegas always thinks how to evolve into screwing you over a little bit more. But I like my dome idea, Mia. What do you think?
I think it sounds really good, but they won't do it because they want you to stay inside and spend money.
No, dome over the whole city, so it's even harder to leave Vegas.
That's good. Good way. I like it. Make it so. I just want the dome over just to keep the weather nice and cool. I mean, we were at the Mandalay Bay, and they got a really cool pool area and everything, and that was. I like it. Make it so. You got to stay in the water the entire time. Is the water warm? Yeah, it's heated, but it doesn't really need to be heated in that beautiful 200-degree weather. And again, pool prices for drinks back to the $10. They need signs that say free drinks here. Within this area, it's free drinks and you only have to pay tips. And then if you pass a certain point, you got to start paying some fun club prices, nightclub prices. An adult playland, like when you were talking about the wizards and everything. Me and Bryan were sitting together. They had this double seat area, so we could sit together and gamble. And we were playing this game, and we just kept playing so that we could have this magical thing pop up on the screen, and it was this wizard doing this crazy trick, and then we were like, "Oh, wizard!" and we can't wait for the wizard, and I felt like a kid almost. Oh, that's sweet! While the wizard was taking our money hand over fist. Yeah, our money, but it was entertainment for me, and I felt like a kid again, and it was fun. I admit, I kind of did. I fell in love with Beyonce a little bit. That's how she gets you. I think that's how the girls fall in love with the boy band members. I remember when I was younger, there was a girl band playing at Disneyland. And we were all kind of making fun of it, oh yeah, this is cheesy. They're up on the stage that rises up in Tomorrowland. And we were watching them and kind of making fun of them. And it was 5 cute chicks, each one representing their respective races, too. It was a cute Mexican chick, cute black chick, cute white chick. Even threw a redhead in there for some of the misfits. It was cool. And I was kind of yeah, it's just corny. And then the black girl, really beautiful, 5'11" black girl, looked right at me, pointed at me, and gave me a cute smile, like she was singing the song. They always directly to me. Yeah, they make you feel that way. It's great. Special. She was my favorite. So. Yeah. Oh man. Beyonce, look at
look up at you as far as we were.
We were really far up.
We were kind of far. But, the venue was really nice because you didn't actually feel that far away.
No, and we kind of were on the side so we could see the backstage area, so it almost seemed like we could see what was happening behind the scenes. Mm-hmm. Good stuff. We're going to get out there again.
Why did you fall in love with her?
I don't know. I think
the wind was blowing in her hair. And
no, he's a guy. He's such a guy.
Dude, that's another funny thing about Beyonce. There's a fan constantly in her face so that she never looks... It's always a Pantene Pro V commercial. So that the hair is never laying flat. It's just a fan constantly blowing in her face so that it looks very... I don't know. What's the... Exotic or...
It's like... Yeah, I know what you mean. It's like a video. Like when you see videos on TV, it's like a video right there.
It's brainwashing. It's manipulation to you men. You're in her spell.
I mean, if I walked around and had a constant fan blowing in my hair...
He would look at you the same way.
Well, what is it trying to simulate? Like, I had a professor in college tell me that women wear makeup because it simulates what a woman's face does during sex. She gets blush. I don't really get the red lips if you punched her or nothing.
It's attention. No, red is attention getter.
Oh, okay. So red, it's a nice bull sign. If your men are bulls, you've got to attack the red lips. But yeah, I heard a teacher say that women wear makeup to show what they're like in bed. Is that what the fans doing? It's kind of making the hair look messy.
Hair look messy?
Yeah, with the hair blowing up and...
Well, it's the same thing. You can go back to that with sex then, too, if you want to. Like sex hair.
Yes, I do.
That's the saying. Like, sex hair was all crazy and wild and, don't care.
Yeah.
Long hair, don't care.
Letting go.
Letting go, yeah.
I thought you meant the hair was ripped out and covered in tears. That's not sex hair?
No. Oh, Bryan. Where do you get this stuff?
I don't know. Yeah, she's a lovely person. I think I like Beyonce now. But then we watched a documentary, and she
the documentary on HBO.
Yeah, the thing that's tough about women, like powerful women, like, and it's a complete double standard. Men, when they're very take charge, they're go-getters and they're tough and they're strong and they rule with an iron fist. And then when women do it, and even when Beyonce was just kind of going into the I'm a perfectionist thing, and it made her look really bitchy, and I kind of lost some of my love for her.
Of course you did, because you're a man. No, Bryan, the whole documentary was about women and we can run the world kind of a thing. So she's a perfectionist. Everything, every show that she has, people are going to relate it back to her and say, oh, you didn't have a really good show, or oh, that song wasn't so great. She has to be a perfectionist so that everything turns out exactly the way she wants it to.
I think I agree with you on that. I think we can wrap up the Vegas segment for now, because now thinking about it, I got to go fight Jay-Z for Beyonce. I think
my goodness. You are such a guy.
He's very wealthy, though, isn't he?
He's extremely wealthy.
He's got that Joe Camel money, so being the spokesman for Joe Camel. But, yeah, that was a nice little personal Vegas chunk. I want you guys to get to know me here at Nothing to Do Radio. I am Bryan, and that's Janis. I also, again, want to thank the Kcaa morning show this morning for letting me come on and, kind of just shoot the S with them and just talk. It's really fun to hang out there. I mean, they kind of just let you sit down and have fun. And it's enjoyable to listen to also, especially when I'm on it. So, yeah, and they love me. You guys need to listen to that morning show, but you also need to listen to Nothing to Do Radio, and go to NothingToDoRadio.com, people. You'll get this show after its completion and all my old shows coming up into the next break. We're going to be talking about a few things, specifically, do you have the right to be offended? And if you do have that right, what consequences do you want to relay on that person who offended you? It's a pretty interesting topic that we see a lot, specifically with, I'm saying specifically a lot. They say not to do that. That's bad. With celebrities. Celebrities, we see this a lot more, and especially now with the age of the Internet, people can get their complaints out a lot quicker. Things go to Twitter. Things go to Facebook. You see now with people who leave no tips, or people who have a complaint with Walmart. They were treated bad at Walmart. That they write it on Facebook, and by the next day they have 200,000 likes on it. And Walmart's personally responding to them, saying, we'll give you stock in the company if you just please say everything's cool. But our most recent casualty is Alec Baldwin. So he said some inflammatory things towards somebody personally, though. He had a personal issue. It's not like he took a group. It's not like he took all the gays and started saying, I don't appreciate your lifestyle, and started going off on his homophobic rant, which he did with this specific guy. He went off on this guy because this guy was talking crap on his wife. They were at James Gandolfini's funeral, and this reporter was saying that his wife, Alec Baldwin's wife, was tweeting kind of ridiculous tweets, shopping tweets, and things that weren't as important as maybe paying your respects during the funeral. And so Alec Baldwin took acceptance to that, and he said a few choice words to the reporter. So when we come back, I want to talk about you guys being offended, and when you complain, what type of resolution do you want? This is Nothing to Do Radio, folks.
Nothing to do.
Sick of my voice yet? This is Bryan from the Nothing to Do Radio Show, and this is my commercial. Kcaa decided to keep me on a little bit longer, and with a new deal comes new sponsors. Do you have an online or local business and you're interested in buying some ad time on a popular radio show? Visit NothingToDoRadio.com to get all the details on how you can get involved with this fantastic show. Live reads, 30-second commercial spots, Facebook and Twitter shout-outs for your company to over 15,000 followers, and even premium ad space on my website, NothingToDoRadio.com. So if you enjoy the program, and if you're interested in getting people in the door, then go ahead and visit NothingToDoRadio.com, and let's start us a beautiful relationship. Nothing to Do Radio, Fridays at 5 on KCAA, 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.
KCAA and KCAA Internet Television, the station that leaves no listener and no viewer behind.
We are back, folks. I like hearing that beat a little bit for a while. At least I have that music. Otherwise, it would have been very, very awkward. NothingToDoRadio.com, you guys. Please go on. Check it out. It's a really cool site. The way I have it linked up, actually, is I want to go completely socially integrated. I want my website to connect all my peoples to me and all of my different social networking. So I have my Facebook, network, Twitter, YouTube, podcast, everything that I do on a daily basis on any of those wonderful sites is all compiled automatically onto the Nothing to Do Radio homepage. So if I'm commenting this week on, let's see some of the news stories, the Zimmerman trial, or even Paula Dean, her antics. If I comment on any of that on Facebook, Twitter, it automatically pops up. So if you guys can even use it almost like a news source, because I stay pretty up to date, I try to stay current myself. So I am Bryan Gill. I am here with Janis and Mia Mocha. Mia, how are you over there?
I'm doing really good.
Staying nice and cool in the booth?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Almost like my dome idea for Vegas.
Yeah, I do like that, though. You should pitch it to them.
But we're going to be getting into something a little bit more, I'd say politically charged. I'd say words can have different connotations when there's a political motivation behind them. And I actually recently got a nice taste of it. Last week, discussing the Paula Dean story, I talked about it a little bit on the morning show this morning. I got dumped for saying a word that I didn't know I couldn't say in a certain context. I said what Paula Dean said. I said the N-word, but I said the full word. I said Paula Dean said this, and it got dumped, and thankfully it did, because now I found out that you're not allowed to say that. And the argument that I had with my engineer for dumping it was in the previous segment, he was arguing the point that the word cracker is as bad as a insult as the N-word is. And I said, no, there's no way. There's way more history behind the N-word and, blah, blah, blah. And while I listened to the broadcast afterwards, I listened to the air check, no crackers were dumped, but the one N-word was. And so me and him kind of got into the hypocrisy of that. And I think last week's show was actually about hypocrisy, wasn't it, Jen?
Yeah.
It was about hypocrisy in the media, and it was just funny that was kind of how it came to be.
You were talking about Matt Lauer, right?
Yeah, I was talking about I was talking about Matt Lauer with Paula Dean and how he kept trying to get it out of her, that she said it more than once, and he was really pushing her to be. He was really pushing the story to be that much more racist. Mm-hmm. It can't be lukewarm racist. It has to be red hot because people have to know immediately when they're looking at a news story, this person is a racist.
And the media does that with everything. They make it red hot, or else people don't want to listen or don't want to get involved. Right?
Yes, yeah. People. I was talking again on the morning show today about angles. The reason I love doing radio is I love taking a look at a story and not just reporting the story, but kind of taking an angle on it, maybe a new interesting one that no one's done before. The media does that, but they do it to prolong a story. You know what I mean? Like I take an angle on a subject so that it can be maybe more entertaining, or maybe it can hit with someone and they can go, oh, I never thought of it like that, and just have a different view on it. The media, the news, and when I'm talking about the media, I'm talking about the news coverage, people who are supposed to be the unbiased media. They take angles to prolong a story and to make it as hot and as fresh and as stinky as possible so that people can't get away from it. They have to know. They do that to prolong it for weeks, for months. Something as stupid as what Paula Dean's saying, and now as it's coming out, me and you were talking about it last night, her saying the N-word 30 years ago isn't even the most racist thing. Mia, did you hear about her having she was having plantation-themed parties?
You know what? Honestly, I think she's out of her mind. What is up with these people who make all these riches and all this money, and then they go back and say stupid things and lose it all? I mean, why can't you give that up and be thankful for what you have and call people by their name instead of putting these I don't get it. I mean, okay, say like you're doing great here. Say you get picked up and you're syndicated. Then you become, nationwide, and you have all these sponsors and you have all this money and all these little private jokes you said behind the curtain. You know what I'm saying? You say out loud, then your butt go broke. Why not just call the person by their name? I don't get it.
Can we almost say that? And I agree with what you're saying. But can we almost say also that Paula Dean's an idiot? Honestly, for being honest. Why did she admit it?
Because that's arrogance. It's a part of arrogance. It's like, I'm Paula Dean. You don't tell me what to do. I can do whatever I want. Yeah, until they take that money away, and all of a sudden she... yeah, right. Then money hurts, don't it, when you don't have it? It's kind of ouch.
Well, then that kind of falls into our most recent story, even though this one's actually coming out around the same time as Paula Dean. She's on the apology path, but I don't think she's going to get out of this one. I think she's in Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson and his ex-wife or his ex-girlfriend Oksana's voicemails or recorded calls. I think he's in that territory now where it's going to be tough for her to come back.
Mm-hmm. Okay, can I just ask a question? How did they find out that she said it?
I think she had an assistant say that she said it to her a few times. But then Paula Dean said, no, I never said it. I never said it to her. But 30 years ago, when I was robbed by a black man, I said it in the police report or something like that. I said it when I was talking to the police or something. I think it's the story.
You think wait a minute, but do you think her sons were like, Mom, are you out of your freaking mind? Are you kidding me?
I know, it's like you're stealing a car stereo and someone's like, hey, why are you stealing that car? And you're like, no, I'm just stealing the stereo. It's still not good. But that leads us into, and I like your pride point of it, Mia. I actually do think that has a lot to do with it. Because everybody always says, oh, these celebrities, they're so cocky and they don't treat the little people well. And I'll guarantee you give that much power and money. And Paula Dean, I don't really know how powerful her empire is, but someone like Mel Gibson, perfect example. Give the average boob that much power, influence, money, being called the sexiest man alive for 30 years. Give the average person that and see how quickly and how arrogant you get.
They don't think of the ramifications. I think that
they don't think there are none.
They think there are none. They don't think that they will be held accountable for their actions.
But should there be accountability, or I shouldn't say accountability, should there be actions, as with the case with Alec Baldwin, who he recently got in a fight with a reporter who was claiming that his wife, Alec Baldwin's wife, during James Gandolfini's funeral was tweeting kind of dumb things, shopping and stupid things, and Alec Baldwin took exception. And pretty much cursed him out. I'm looking at it from a guy's perspective. Alec Baldwin cursed the dude out. Don't talk about my wife. I'll kick your ass. That's pretty much what he said. He said, if I put my foot up your effing ass, but I'm sure you dig it too much. So it starts. That's an insult, and that's honestly an insult you'd say to a straight dude. You
yeah,
say
I
that
agree.
insult to a straight dude.
Yes, you would.
I don't know if this guy George Stark is gay or not, and honestly, I don't even think it would matter that much if it's in the heat of an argument. Now, if you're arguing with a black person and in the heat of an argument say the N-word, then that's completely, then that is completely in a different, a different level. You're actually singling that person out. You know for a fact that person's black, and your insult has now transcended your fight and is now going into personal kind of feelings that you already probably had.
I have to say, I disagree with you, Bryan.
You disagree?
I do.
How do you disagree?
I think that him saying that, I'd stick my foot up your ass, but I think you'd like it too much. He's attacking that person, saying that he's gay. It's no different than if you were to call a black person the N-word.
I disagree. I could say to my friend, if me and my friend are playing video games and he keeps doing cheat moves and keeps, picking the same character when we're playing Mortal Kombat, and he never switches characters, and I'm switching characters because it's a new game and I want to have fun. All right, I'm going too much in the nerd territory. And if I say, dude, you're being gay, I say that to my friend. Dude, you're being gay right now.
Okay, and that said a lot, and I actually don't. I think it's kind of inappropriate now.
But why now, though? This is the point that we're getting to. When did malice and intent not matter behind our words?
Because we're growing up in a different world. Because the community, it's changing, and we have to be careful of our words. Because I don't think we thought of that when we were younger, Bryan, but we have to think about it now, is what I'm saying.
No, my point is, and even with me saying what Paula Deen said when I said it in my last show, and it got dumped. The reason I said it so kind of calmly and not without thinking about it, which maybe I should have, is because I had no malice or intent. I wasn't insulting a caller that I thought was African American and yelled it. That's completely different.
Well, you were reporting on it.
A, I was reporting, and B, there was no heat behind it. There was no fire behind it. I didn't just get cut off by Kobe Bryant, and I yelled it out the window because I was so angry. There's nothing behind it except using it as a word. When do words kind of become more where people start getting offended to the point that they now want that person to suffer? Now, people always say, not only with the Paula Deen case, but again with Mel Gibson, Tracy Morgan, Daniel Tosh with saying rape jokes, and a chick was offended in the audience because she didn't think rape jokes were funny. When do they cross the point, or when do you get the power to now say, I know freedom of speech. I know all that. I'm not going to put you in jail. That's the thing they always hide behind, it seems like. Like, no, we're not saying you're going to be arrested for what you're saying, but what we are going to do is backdoor you completely and destroy your image and make sure that you don't get another job until you kowtow to us. How is that the solution in this new world, though?
Because they want to hurt back. Because they're offended and they're hurt, and they want to hurt you back.
I don't think they're offended. I don't think the majority of the people is offended. Now, Alec Baldwin saying to George Stark this fight, however heated the fight got on both ends, him saying it to him, George Stark has the right to be offended. George Stark, who Alec Baldwin said, I'm going to put my foot up your effing ass, and you'd probably like it. But
you're saying all the other gay people should not have a right
all the
to be
other
offended.
gay. I'm saying they're not offended. I know they're not offended. I know now it's a match that they can now use to light the dynamite that is their cause. Nothing to do radio. I'm talking about when you're offended, do you have the right? Does your voice have the right to be heard?
Can I say something real quick? That's
a
very interesting thing you're saying, because when there was the issue about same-sex marriages, about a couple years ago, a friend of mine brought it up, and she said that she was at a bar where she was with a couple of lesbians, and they actually got in an argument over it. Because one couple said, we don't need to get married. We're fine the way we are. The civil one it's fine. The other side, no, we have the right to. So it's interesting. You may be right. Not everybody gay might have been offended. There are certain people that use whatever they want to for their own agenda.
Yes,
but I don't think all gay people are they're going to look, oh, I think that's a gay joke. Oh, I think that's homophobe. I don't necessarily think that's what it is. Sometimes I think people are they have their own motive. Or just imagine, okay, Bryan,
yes.
your lovely girlfriend right there next to you of 12 years. Yes. If someone said anything that put her down in any way, shape, or form, would you say back in return, if you're in Alec Baldwin's situation, would you say, sir, I'm sorry, but you're wrong. You're being mean. Would you stop, please? I want to be PC, but you hurt her feelings.
I don't
know. You would snap, crackle, and pop.
Name calling, but I would insult his wife probably. Eye for an eye.
Right. He probably. I think it was a poor choice of words, but he was angry in the moment. What Paula Deen did was what she said offends a whole race of people. It's not a specific person. It's a whole race based on arrogance. It was based on arrogance and superiority.
Okay,
and that's,
and
you know
I
what I
agree
mean?
with that. And I do know what you mean. But let's say, because I like this kind of insulting everyone as a whole, like you're insulting all gays or all blacks, or it's just a personal thing. Let's say Paula Deen. Let's just do this as a hypothetical point to bring up for discussion. She said, she called that person in, I think it was the police station. She said this N-word robbed me at gunpoint or whatever. She said it because she was angry that this person put a gun in her face and robbed her. And that was the insult she used. I don't want to ask, is that right? Or I should say,
are you kidding me? Why didn't she say this was a black man that robbed me? He looked like this, that, and that. How is she going to use a derogatory word?
The same reason when you hit your foot maybe on a table and you scream the F word, because you're not talking clearly. You're talking with emotion.
But but for me, I was raised, I had upbringing, as you put it. You know, when you saw a person specifically, if there was a specific woman that was mean to me, I would say, you no good so-and-so and that, but I wouldn't offend her entire race. I would be specifically with her, but not the race. But, you know, if Paula Deen doesn't evolve, they're going to use her as an example because this world is small. And we're talking about we're working with Indian people, Asian people, Latinos. It's you know, and they got money and they have backing. So people better watch what they say and don't offend.
I hate that though.
But it is what it is. This world is small.
Honestly, I don't think it is. I think if you tell who I think it even happened with Daniel Tosh, or it happened with someone recently who said, I said what I said. I'm a comedian. I'm not a politician. You know, this was my opinion on it. I'm here to make people laugh. Screw you guys. Leave me alone. I think it was. Was
it the one you were talking about with the rape joke?
It might have been Daniel Tosh, or even it might have been Adam Carolla. I think when Glad came after him when he said some jokes about transsexuals, and he said, "Listen, I'm a comedian. I'm here to entertain. I'm not a politician." And you kind of take their power away if you tell them.
I don't. You know what? I guess I have a respect for old school. Back in the day, comedians would make laughter out of situations. They didn't have to put other people down to make people laugh. That's just a lower form of laughter. You know, I dare somebody to make people laugh without putting a race down or who they are or an illness or sickness or something. I dare all comedians out there to make people laugh like they used to, where they had to actually use talent and not pick on any specific person. So there you go. That's how I feel.
I believe you guys both have the same opinion. I agree with you. I disagree with you, I should say. Ricky Gervais just had an interview last week, and someone asked him kind of along those lines. What's humor? What do you think about humor about horrible subjects? And he said, if you don't make fun of the horrible things in life, what happens to you and what happens just in general, horrible things, there's no evolutionary reason to have humor. There's no reason for us as humans to have humor if not to laugh at the horrible things and kind of poke at those little things in life that affect us. That's what comedians, I think, are for. I don't think do you really just want milquetoast comedy that kind of just talks about, you know, just simple observational things, or do you want people to kind of find a knot in the back of society? They find a knot that everyone's walking around and everyone's kind of scared to go near. Don't you kind of want that comedian to go to that knot and really dig it in?
Okay, wait a minute. So when you went to that Beyonce concert and that guy squeezed your tush like the Charmin squeezing thing, and he started getting up there, and if he was a comedian, hey, you know, I saw you got your butt pinched. You know, you kind of liked it, didn't you? Wasn't that funny? Oh, my goodness. You like a little more, huh? I like to put my foot up your... You see what I'm saying? That ain't right.
You mean the way I just did a few minutes ago?
I'm just saying that's not so funny.
I brought something that could be, you know, I'm not gay. I could sit there and go off on. What do you want me to do? You want me to come on and go, this person grabbed it, I'm a heterosexual. This is homosexual. No, you have to make light of it. You have to be fun about it. Otherwise, there's a huge chunk of the fun of living left. You have to make fun of the horrible things, because otherwise you're just
within reason.
You're left with lukewarm.
I love comedians that say things that are true. So I laugh really hard at that, and I say, oh, my God, that's so true.
Yeah, see? Mm-hmm. That's a good one.
Richard Pryor would talk about setting himself on fire when he was high on crack. I mean, he would talk about his
He laughed at himself, though, not other people.
Why does that matter? So let's say you're going to do. Let's say you have like Daniel Tosh.
Wait! You got to wrap it up. It went fast.
Oh,
Great show, by the way, Bryan.
Oh, that was good. That was getting good, Mia. Why didn't you start this early? We should have cut the Vegas talk. This is Nothing to Do Radio, you guys. Please visit NothingToDoRadio.com. You guys are going to love it, I'm sure. I will talk to you guys next week, Friday at 5 on Kcaa 1050 AM.
You're on board KCAA's Inland Talk Express. KCAA, Loma Linda, 1050 AM, the station that leaves no listener behind.